Hi guys, this is Chip at Chip and Guardians Adventures. So I came across this YouTuber called Kate Yup, and apparently a lot of people were saying she was doing stuff. She could be kidnapped. She's French, stuff like that. So I was like, oh, weird. So why is YouTube paying her? Why isn't YouTube calling the police and saying, can you go check on this person? Which I think she has. But I'm going to give you a few reasons on why I think there's no way she could be kidnapped. From the bruising to the tooth, how she did it. Also, telltale signs of the difference between an eating disorder and what that does to your body, a sun disorder and stuff like that. So let's take the first one, which is her hands, okay? So just show you this. So if you look at her fingers, she's actually got a manicure. Can you see that? Her fingers, this is what you look like. This is what. Watch. Alexa, put my light on.
Okay.
So this is what your hands look like when they're rough. Okay? Can you see that? So I'm going to do it to the exact scale in how you're seeing her fingers. So I have gastroparesis. So can you see I don't have any manicure? So can you see my fingernails? They're all cut and scraped, and can you see that? They have like skin on them. See that? That is unkept, like, because I do gardening and that. But do you see the hand? And if you see that, I have a sun disorder that my hands blister when the sun hits. So you will have scarring. But if you look at her hands, right, they're perfect. Can you see that? They're perfectly manicured, and there is no scarring for a sun disorder. Can you see that? And also, she's not dehydrated, because if you look at the veins, there's a vein right there. A dehydrated person like me, which I'll show you, the veins would look a lot like this. Broken veins. Can you see the broken veins? Let me show you more detailed close up. So the veins would look broke like this because dehydrated skin, see that? See this? That's dehydration, and that's a sun disorder, the scarring. Can you see? But my hands aren't being manicured, so I've got like that, my fingers. Because I've got gastroparesis, I have like very hard to digest food. It goes into full-blown spasm. But can you see this? Look how damaged and scarred my hands are, because I don't get no manicures. I do a lot of gardening, and I have a lot of dehydration, which causes vein popping. Can you see that? Okay, so her arm, her skin is perfect. Can you see? There is no dehydration. It looks like she has a manicure. It looks like she well takes care of her skin with some kind of hand cream, right? So that's one. Now, anyone who's got eating disorders or anything like that also sees that your hair, so let's just move forward a little bit. If you look at her hair, so look at her neck, okay? If you had an eating disorder, show ya. If you have an eating disorder, you have bulks here in your neck. Can you see them? Everyone who has an eating disorder or has had one, you will see bulking in the neck. Can you see that? And if you're underweight, can you see that? You'll see veins, stuff like that. Can you see? Now, if you look at her neck very carefully, her neck has muscle. Can you see? There's no lumps either side of her neck to suggest that she's got an eating disorder. Right? So if we move on now, so let's quickly move on. So now we're going to go to the teeth. So this is a trick that a lot of geniuses and stuff does. Right, a tongue. So let's look at a tongue. Everyone knows if they have an eating disorder, the tongue, let's just move it back a bit. Her tongue, we'll see it in a sec, just hold on guys. When you see a tongue, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because most people with eating disorders wouldn't know exactly what I'm talking about. Most people with gastroparesis will know what I'm talking about with the tongue. So she smiles there and she's got perfect white teeth. Okay? You saw that. Wait for it. There. The tongue. See what colour her tongue is? Now look at someone with gastroparesis and difficulties. It's yellow. It's split. It's got cuts and lumps. Can you see that? Because of dehydration and stuff. Her teeth are perfect. I haven't got it because I vomit constantly through the gastroparesis. See? So it's fine. Another thing is my mouth. Can you see it? Because of the acid in my stomach, it burns my mouth. She has perfectly formed, perfectly straight lips. Right? Also, see how yellow my eyes are? It's because my liver is fighting hard because I had my gallbladder removed and it went wrong. My liver is fighting hard. Right? If you have sun problems, you get these little things here. And when the sun comes out, these go dark. Can you see? Can you see that? She doesn't have none of that. But watch this. Look at her hair as well. Here we go. I'm going to tell you how she did the teeth trick. So, see them scallops? What's up? I'll just have to switch. Alexa, switch my light off. Alexa, switch my light off.
Okay.
Right, so let's go back a little bit and you'll see the scallops. Right. Oh, what is wrong with this thing? See the scallops? There. So you see the scallops, right? There's a few fully formed, and there's one that's split. And if you look closely to the bottom one, near to, I think it's my right, your left, there's a hole. And that's where she would have hidden the teeth. In them, right? So, when she goes to eat, see how she moves everything round first? Can you see that? But when she goes to eat the scallops, so let's move it on a bit. Watch the scallop she picks up and she puts two in, and all of a sudden she'll pick them two in the front that I've just shown you, and all of a sudden, keep watching, Right, get ready. Watch this. She picks one. She picks, remember, there it is. There's the one with the teeth in. Bites into it. 1, 2, she's waiting. Bam. She's found them. She takes one out and the other. And then shows you, look, there's my teeth. Now let's take a closer look at them teeth. Let's just focus, focus, focus. That's a good camera. It won't focus for some reason. But them teeth, bet you if you ask a dentist, they'll tell you exactly how old them teeth are. And the fact is, if you break your tooth, everyone knows that it's cracked and it doesn't look like a tooth. If you break your tooth, it's just like the round bit of the tooth at one of the sides, and then you have the sharp bit. It never comes out whole like that with no blood on it. And she's trying to portray that they're whole teeth that have just come out. Do you see? And then the bruising. So let's look at her hair now. And then we'll look at the bruising. Right. See her hair? It's fully conditioned. Don't know if you can see it on my camera. But if you go on to it, you'll see her hair is fully conditioned. It's shiny. It's nice. It's soft. It's long. There's a few of them in the video that shows you her hair. Right? And her hair is really healthy. Look at it. It's shiny. It's conditioned. It hasn't even got split ends or anything. And it's all pulled back. Can you see? There you go. Look at that. Look at that for perfect colour hair. Perfect. There's no break-ins in it. There's no... And everyone knows if you have an eating disorder, your hair doesn't look healthy at all. You have to condition it constantly. Right? And she doesn't break her teeth on anything else. See? Because there's nothing else to hide the teeth in. Only the scallops. And I showed you the 2 scallops, and as soon as she picked that scallop up, that's where it was hiding in. Right? Now, when people are saying she's got bruising, it's makeup. So, just give me a minute. Right, so this one is about her mouth and bruising. Okay, now she's got a chain on, can you see? Now, this is how I know. Everyone who has eating problems and that has a lot of blood tests, right? So, we know that you get a lot of bruising for blood tests. Now, if she's going to eat that, she's going to ask her doctor to give her a blood test, right? Because she's going to say, look, I'm going to eat a load of this and I could get mercury poison. Am I strong enough? Is my liver strong enough? Do you see what I'm saying? But she's wearing long sleeves there. Right? So this is her first video. And if you look in her first video, she wears a chain and she wears a nice top and she wears long sleeves. And if you keep going through the videos, she still wears that chain and long sleeves. See? Then the rumours start. So she goes, oh, we can like gain money on this. Okay? Now, when people put concerns into YouTube, obviously they're sending her the money. So they would have investigated. So if she would have turned around and said to YouTube, I'm going to... people are concerned about you, so you need to address these issues, or else we can't have you on this channel, right? She's addressed the issues by saying, no, I'm not being kidnapped, I'm fine. But then she's making you believe it so you can keep subscribed and try and find her, like a mystery thing. And she's probably told YouTube, look, it's not my fault if people still believe I'm kidnapped. I did tell them I wasn't kidnapped. I did write it in my videos that everything's fine and that it's a disorder and blah, blah, blah. But no other videos does she have any bruising or anything. No other videos except a few. So if you go through her videos very carefully, you will see that the videos with the short sleeves and the bruising happened after it went viral that she could be kidnapped, which I believe that either her herself made another account and is doing this, or she's got a partner involved or anyone else to set these rumours off. And because YouTube is not going to allow this, YouTube would have turned around and said to her, look, are you kidnapped? No, I'm fine. They would have investigated. YouTube's not that cruel. They would have investigated because they're not going to pay kidnappers. But can you imagine if she's in Europe and YouTube knew that she was being kidnapped and they ignored and just paid the kidnappers the money? Could you imagine YouTube will be shut down quicker than you can say boo bap? And they're a business at the end of the day. So they said, address these issues or we're going to have to remove your content and you're going to have to pay us the money back. So she has addressed those issues. It's not her fault that people still don't believe her. Although she's tricking people by doing little things that look like something they're not. So I'm reckoning she's either a psychologist student, or her dad or something like that, a brother or someone in her family is like does magician stuff. Because like I said, the only reason why I knew about the teeth was because I have disorders. And if you look at, take this one, you look at the scallops, there's no cracks. There you go. Look at the scallops, right? She doesn't break her teeth in this one. There's no cracks. Let me just break that off. There's no cracks in the scallops, look. The scallops are perfectly round, perfectly white. Can you see? Whereas that Pacific scallop that she picked up had the fake teeth in them. Right? She has a perfect smile. When you have an eating disorder, you don't get a perfect smile. Her skin isn't dehydrated. She's got cheekbones and stuff like that. Now, people are saying that she looked like she was skinny, but the bruising was brown. So, understand the bruising was brown, right? Bruising isn't brown. Bruising goes from black and blue and yellow to green and yellow and lighter browns, and then fades. How do I know? I had a blood test done last week, and that's a bruise, and it was bigger and everything, and it was dark and it was black, and it was really, this is a week old bruise. Can you see the yellow and brown and how it's misshaped, and the yellow and brown and a bit of green tint in it round the edge? She used makeup. This person is a very smart, intelligent and clever person who no way could be eating like this constantly. So her YouTube channel, for her to make money, there's no way she could eat and binge eat like that. Now, the reason why I think she's using raw fish is for two reasons. One, raw fish is very hard to digest. It sits in your stomach for 12 to 24 hours. And this is why people with gastroparesis have to cook everything and mash everything down as much as they can to push through the stomach. But even if you didn't have that disorder, and you were normal, you still couldn't process the fish. Don't believe me? Go online and have a look at your stomach and your bio. Also, if you eat like that, it sits in your guts, right? So afterwards, you can vomit it back up, and you will vomit the contents of your stomach because it's hard to digest. Now, they say that salmon has mercury in it and raw fish has mercury in it. It does, unless it's been treated. Unless the salmon's calm when it's caught and it's not dredged. If it's dredged, then and the salmon's panicking, it sends like mercury through its body because it protects itself. That's what it does. If I'm going to die, you're going to die too for eating me. But if the salmon that's caught is caught calmly and then it's treated, it's safe to eat. And as long as you don't digest, you could eat that amount of salmon as long as you don't digest, which makes me believe that this person had some knowledge in the way the stomach works, in the way digestion works. And like I said, there's no way that she could keep this content up. So that's why she posted every, 2-3 months, was because after she's done that, she has to recover, right? So once she's eaten so much, there will be some mercury that goes into her bloodstream. So for her to recover, she would have to eat lots of lots of the fruit and lots of the vegetables that help the liver, the kidneys, the stomach to detox. And she would have to go in about 1 to 2 months detox if her body has gone in. And if people think that is a real bruise, the only thing I can think of is because she went for a blood test. Right? And if you're eating raw food and you're vomiting, that is a cold sore. Now, I think the reason why she lost weight is because it started getting to her body. She started going through something, because if you force your body to be sick every time you eat, your brain, although it doesn't see, it senses. So when you start to feel full, it'll automatically vomit for you to empty the contents, because it's saying that's what you want me to do. So she would have started naturally vomiting as soon as her stomach felt full. Right? That's what would have happened. You do that for a year and you post every 3-4 months and you're filling your stomach up, stretching it and then vomiting it, your brain and all the cells in your body will actually think that's what's supposed to happen. And then you'd have to retrain it not to. No, when I'm full, keep it down and just digest it. But raw fish is one of the raw vegetables, and raw fish is one of the hardest things to digest. And it also, with your bio, with your liver, with your pancreas, having to send bio down and stuff like that. There's so much your body has to do to digest raw food, right? That's what the appendix was for. But because we started cooking our food, the appendix became useless. So my theory is she couldn't keep this up for very long. So she had to have a gimmick. YouTube said this gimmick is getting out of control. People think you're being kidnapped. We're getting loads and loads of people saying you're not doing nothing. What's wrong with you? Stuff like that. Unless they're in danger, YouTube don't have to release any statements except to tell the person, either you stop this right now and you tell people there's nothing wrong, or we stop paying you and we stop doing it. So she's probably a very smart person, or someone who's with her is a very smart, loophole-y type of person, you know, like a lawyer or solicitor or something like that, that says, okay, come out with it and tell them, okay, I'm fine, everything's fine, that's not a bruise, that this is a cold sore, because it is. Ask any doctor, show them that picture and they'll tell you it is an actual cold sore, which you get, everyone gets. Call it what they like, it's a cold sore. And then if they still believe it, then there's nothing you can do. So what she does is she mispronounces things on her on her statements. So it makes you believe that she can't speak English properly, she's probably a student of another country, or she doesn't speak English, or something like that. So then when she puts her grammar in her words, any wordsmith will explain this to you, she's doing it on purpose. And the reason why she put French underneath is because French is mostly, when I was a kid and that, the second language. So you can go on Google and translate it into French and write it down. Doesn't mean you're French. But she wanted people not to come looking for her. So she made sure that she knew it'll be more Americans looking for her than anyone else. And she knew they'll find her because they're not stupid. So she had to sort of throw people off. And the reason why she hasn't posted any more content is because whatever she posts now is never going to be as good as her first load of videos. Because people want more and more and more. And what will happen is her subscribers will go, well, hold on a minute, why aren't you doing all, well, I can't do it no more, my body can't take it no more, I'm going into a certain thing, I'm not allowed to do it, or I'm now back into being a student, or something like that. So my theory is this was all a trick to get people to, so she does the minimum content and gets the most highest reward, right? So people are now saying, but she's been kidnapped, she needs help, I think she's in France. She's probably a student, right? Look at the facts that I've just given you, right? You've seen bruising, you've seen the teeth of someone with gastroparesis who vomits constantly. Yes, I am going to get them seen too, but at the minute, until I can stop the vomiting, the dentist says there's no point. You want to see a cracked tooth? There you go. See it? So I know what a cracked tooth looks like if you bite into something, and it wasn't soft that I bit into. It was actually a piece of crusty bread, and I bit into it because I was having a bacon and egg roll. I bit into it, and it went into the tooth and popped the tooth, and the tooth cracked in half, right? Because it's brittle. Your teeth are brittle when you've got problems digesting things. It makes your teeth brittle. It makes your hair dry. So I have alopecia, so it makes your hair dry. So I picked a style that goes with my disorder, right? Your eyes are yellow if you have any content. She doesn't have anything like that. That's why she's covering her nose and her eyes. Simple reason is because if you see it, you'll see the health of her. So this girl is either cruel to make people believe this, or very smart. Because look at Nick Ricardo. He's had to work so damn hard to get to where he is today. And if you look at most of the mukbangers, they say you have to post, you have to put loads of videos up, you have to do this. She didn't. All she had to do is start to eat. She was probably told, because if you look at the beginning, she was perfectly healthy, long-sleeved, had a nice gold chain on, her hair was perfect, manicured nails. And then all of a sudden, a rumour came out, which I have no doubt it probably come from someone in her camp. A rumour came out, she ran with it, YouTube investigated. YouTube does not have to legally tell anybody if they've investigated or not, because they're still paying her for each viewing, YouTube is. They would not be paying someone if they were kidnapped, because YouTube will be shut down in 5 seconds flat. The FBI will be called, everyone will be called, right? And there isn't. And the reason why there isn't is because she's not been reported missing anywhere. She's not in any distress, because if she was in distress, have you ever been in distress and trying to eat? You physically couldn't do it. You couldn't, because as soon as you started eating, even if you binge eat or you eat in distress, the pain in your stomach alone would eventually stop you, and you have to put your hands down your throat to be sick, because the pain is horrific. She was comfortable sitting there eating. Trust me, from someone who knows about eating disorders, she was comfortable eating that. Like I said, she's probably been training for this, and she's probably more likely a student, but I think I could almost be certain and bet on it that she's probably someone who does a lot of food challenges, cooked food challenges. But like I said, look how Nikocado and look how Be Love and everyone else, look how they work so hard to get their viewings. She's no way could her body physically, ask any nutritionist, ask any doctor, because I've asked my nutritionist, I've asked my doctors and that. There's no way she could keep that up. There's no way. A year, the most. And if you look, she doesn't post every day. She doesn't post every week. She posts once every few months. And that's because her body needs time to recover from any poisonings or anything else. And she needs to get checked out to make sure that's not damaging her. So there's no way. So you think of the extreme tension she had in the first load of videos. There's no way. Her rating will go down. She would have to work even harder. And her YouTube, she wouldn't get paid. But to put a conspiracy out there with lots of people who do this, bang, it was perfect. Let's get the conspiracies going. Then YouTube investigated and said, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry, but, you know, we're going to have to take you off and we're not going to pay you if you carry on with this saga. So she's gone on saying, no, look, I'm MSA, so I don't need to speak. But look, I'm fine. Look, and then she goes to YouTube. Hey, I've told them, look how clear I've been. I've told them very clearly there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not being kidnapped. It is an SOS, blah, blah, blah. And they still don't believe me. If I was kidnapped, then why would I? So they've investigated it and they've said, yeah, fair enough. You have told these people. They're not listening. They're not, you know, let them carry on. So YouTube's done their bit. YouTube investigated. YouTube told them to stop the rumours, to come out and tell people. They did do it. Remember, this is a non-talking channel, so she did it the best way she could with a non-talking channel. Instead of coming on like me and you, talking right now, she didn't want to do that because she knew if she did that, she would lose everybody and there'd be hate crime and people chasing her and hating on her, and she couldn't deal with that, especially if she's a student and needs to concentrate on her work. And she didn't want to have to make more content. There's no way you could eat like this constantly, and anything she did after this would never be good enough. And she's probably watched YouTubers that were once really big and then they changed the content and it just dropped. Look at Nikocado, how many channels he's got, because he needs to do different things on different channels for different people. So, and she was thinking, I'm not getting that fat and I'm not losing that, I'm not working that hard. So she's got the conspiracy going out. I believe there's nothing wrong with that woman. I believe she's done her job. She's got a year's worth of ASMR videos out. She's pretended that her tooth cracked and stuff, because go look at the scallop yourself and then look at the other scallop she's had in every single video. Number two, if you're a kidnapper, you're not going to care to clean a fish, are you? There's no way. If you look at her whole fishes and the actual salmon, you know, there's no way you would clean the fish for her. In one of it, the huge ASMR, when she says salmon, raw scallops, shrimps and tuna, it's all cut perfectly. It's all cut in the weight. It's all put beautifully. It's all skinned. If you kidnap someone, you're not gonna want that look. Do you know what I mean? Now, you're right. There is someone in the background saying, swallow, hurry up. But it could actually be her trainer. Think about it. She's training because she's a foodie eater. And she's probably got another channel right now and sitting there, and you have probably subscribed to her without knowing it. And she probably talks either English or American or something like that, right? Because you're looking for a French, thin, skinny woman with bruises all over her and that lot. That she's got probably another channel now. Why this one's making thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. She's probably on another channel doing an eating challenge channel. I mean, you know, that would make sense. And if that's true, then either she's a very horrific, cruel person, because a lot of people care, and she's using people's emotions, and I think that is abuse. And I think if that's what she's doing, then she should be held accountable for. Or she's a very smart and clever lady, or the person behind it is. And they're sitting there laughing at everybody because they're getting 2 loads of checks. And she's probably, because I asked someone who does eating challenges, and they said you have to train your body. You really do. And they said you have to be physically fit enough to do them food challenges. There's no way a normal person without training the stomach could eat that amount of salmon and tuna and raw fish and then be able to spew it up or digest it. You just wouldn't, unless you trained your stomach to do that. And you wouldn't be able to do it for long. Why don't you go to one of the YouTubers who do eat like food challenges and ask them, what does it take to do food challenges? And they're going to say, you can't just go into it. You have to train. You have to train your body. You have to train everything about yourself. You have to find out about what it is. So I'm saying that Kate Yupp is nothing but someone, or someone who knows her, has put these videos out, knows that the content will never get any better than this, and is probably on another channel doing eating channels right now, and you would not know it. But she's not kidnapped. The bruising's not real. The breaking of the teeth's not real. She's got a manicure. You've seen it clearly here. Go to her channel and investigate it yourself. This is Chip and Guardian's Adventures. I'm autistic with learning difficulties. I look at things a little bit different. And if I'm wrong and she turns up dead somewhere, then now I will apologise. But I know I'm not. Because I'm autistic and we see things different. And that's my theory. And go ahead and hate me if you like or whatever and start yelling at me, all her fans. But at the end of the day, I've got a right to say what I think, because it's out there in public and everyone else is saying what they think. I'm telling you what I think is going on here by what I've saw watching her channels. It's Chip Guardian's Adventures. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And we shall see you in the next video. Catch you in a while, crocodile.